President Trump is making big moves, ladies and gentlemen, and he has just provided a detailed update on his administration's immigration efforts and emphasizing a very strong crackdown on illegal immigration, guys. In fact, he even highlighted his administration's focus on deporting dangerous individuals with serious criminal records. And he's not playing. I'm going to share with you guys some footage that I have not seen anywhere. Under President Biden's administration, footage would often come up showing like the federal government quietly transporting migrants into the United States during nighttime operations. Have you guys seen those videos? Well, these videos showing planes landing in the dark sparked a lot of controversy. And so now, under President Trump's leadership, the whole narrative has completely shifted. And this administration is releasing new images that show a very different story. For example, at Briggs Army Base in Texas, photos and videos are showing groups of individuals boarding deportation flights headed into countries like Guatemala. By the way, guys, I really appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Thank you so much for sharing these videos. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I just cannot thank you guys enough for the support that you guys give me. But yeah, so according to officials, these operations, they're being conducted with precision. Like, I mean, it's crazy how well this is being orchestrated. You got Tom Homan running the show. An official indicated that 2 Department of Defense aircrafts recently carried out deportation flights to Guatemala overnight. Trump's administration made it very clear that their focus is on removing what President Trump calls the bad, hard criminals. During a recent statement, President Trump described these individuals as murderers and as bad as anyone you've ever seen. He even stressed that his administration is prioritizing the deportation of the most dangerous offenders. But breaking news, guys, Kanye West seems to think that everyone cares what Yeezy's net worth is. Does anybody care what Kanye West's net worth is? I sure don't. But apparently a lot of people do, or at least he wants people to know, because Kanye West is now revealing that his net worth is $2 billion. Is it just me, or is it just like a little bit insensitive for celebrities to just like, and these are Hollywood, California celebrities. They live in Malibu, they live in Calabasas and whatnot. Is it insensitive? And if I'm off base, please let me know. But I just feel like it might be a little bit insensitive while people's homes are burning down due to these raging wildfires, and they make it a priority to come out and brag about their net worth for 2025. Meanwhile, people's homes are burning down. Like, does that just seem a little bit insensitive? Maybe it's just me. Now, you guys might remember that Kanye West used to previously date Kim Kardashian. She was one of Kim Kardashian's boyfriends. Actually, I think they ended up getting married. Comment down below if they ever got married. Anyway, so Kanye West, he came out today indicating that, we need to take a look into his finances. Apparently, we're supposed to give a damn, right? So according to the rapper, Kanye West is sitting on a pretty sizable stack of gold. Kanye West took to social media recently to share a post saying his current net worth has reached the billions. In 2025, Ye's net worth stands at $2.77 billion USD, as confirmed by Eton Ventures Services. The valuation is based on his music portfolio and his sole ownership of the Yeezy mark. While Forbes still lists Kanye West as only having a net worth of $400 million, the new evaluation from Etron Venture Services says it provides audit defensible business valuations across the entire business life cycle on its website. And this would mean that he surpassed the net worth of a number of celebrities. Now, me personally, I don't care that Forbes lists Jay-Z's net worth at $2.5 billion. I don't care that the net worth of Kim Kardashian and ex-wife is at $1.7 billion, or even Taylor Swift sitting at $1.1 billion. But in spite of all this, Kanye West owns multiple properties in the state of California that are currently on fire, thanks to everyone's favorite governor, who apparently doesn't give a damn about its residents in California, in Hollywood, in the Palisades, in Los Angeles, and it's just burning down. And it looks like Governor Gavin Newsom really isn't doing anything to actually address this problem. He's just standing by. President Trump has offered a solution, which would be millions of gallons of water to help put out these flames. But no, what does Gavin Newsom do? Oh, he just sits on his hands. He's doing nothing. Meanwhile, folks, non-celebrities are losing their only homes. Non-celebrities are losing family members. It's crazy. But going back, guys, Trump's press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, she shared images of deportation planes and lines of adult males being ushered onto the flights. Now, these visuals, they are carefully crafted to counter the imagery from the Biden administration.
Deportation's going very well. We're getting the bad, hard criminals out. These are murderers. These are people that have been as bad as you get, as bad as anybody you've seen. We're taking them out first.
They were, such as scenes of children at the border detention facilities. No, Trump is going after the hard, really bad criminals. And so, this approach is really being described as just he's like sniping his targets. Even some state leaders who previously opposed Trump, they're now taking a more measured stance. For example, Governor who once claimed to resist Trump with every tool has expressed cautious support for the deportation strategy. Now, on the other hand, you got Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. He criticized the federal government's cooperation with Trump's immigration efforts. However, records from Illinois revealed that one individual apprehended had a history of crimes such as reckless, basically bad, really bad things. We're trying not to get demonetized here, but we're not going to get into all the details. But just know that Trump is making moves. Comment down below Trump if you're really happy with Trump is doing so far in his first, not even full week in office as President of the United States in his second term. Just type in Trump or type in Melania.
Crews right now are scrambling to contain these flames. They're trying to prevent this fire from jumping over the fire line. We have seen the wind really push this fire as it exploded in just a matter of hours to more than 5,000 acres, sending so many people under mandatory evacuation orders scrambling to safety.
Let's get out. Let's go.
But all of
President Donald Trump destroys California Governor Gavin Newsom in his first interview as president. So a new wildfire is spreading out throughout north of Los Angeles. Hundreds arrested within 24 hours of the president being in the White House. And CNN continues its downward spiral as they just recently announced massive layoffs to try to cut their costs. Now, we got a lot to talk about today, guys. So let's go ahead and start with this fire that's going on out in California right now. Hey, guys, I want to thank y'all as always. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. Let's jump in.
This is a fast moving fire. You can see the flames here coming down the hillside. It's been moving acres by the minute. You can see the smoke right now, all fueled by these strong winds. This is what officials have been worried about and warning about all week.
Let's get out. Let's go.
Tonight, a new fast-moving wildfire torching the hills north of Los Angeles.
Mandatory evacuation order.
Forcing evacuations in the town of Castaic, including homes on both sides of Interstate 5, jails and schools, sending students running. The Hughes fire igniting just after 11 and quickly exploding in size to more than 5,000 acres with zero containment.
This neighborhood is under a mandatory evacuation order, but instead of getting out, many residents are doing this, hosing down their homes and property.
My wife and my animals were ready to go.
The fire fueled by single-digit humidity, bone-dry brush, and strong winds, relentless conditions that have plagued Southern California now for more than 2 weeks.
How worried are you about all this?
very,
Yeah.
obviously.
Since the devastating Eaton and Palisades fires demolished more than 16,000 structures, tonight new red flag warnings leaving the county on high alert. As previous fire victims continue to struggle, now a new concern about identity theft. Judy and Stefan Zweig say they're the victims of FEMA fraud.
Everybody over the weekend was saying, okay, you're at your lowest. This is it. No, we weren't quite at the bottom. Maybe now we are.
When the couple went to apply for federal aid, they say they were told someone already had, using Stefan's name, address, and social security, leaving them locked out of the process and unable to access any disaster relief.
You just feel sort of abandoned. You just feel like, you know, what more could happen? Right. What else is going to happen next?
Now, we can say that there are a lot of preparations in place to try and stop these fires, but the fact remains that residents are struggling. And it's just really disheartening to know that fraudsters would just take advantage over this kind of situation. And it's getting even worse because these fires have already torched 10,000 acres. This is double than what was initially reported. It's also been reported that more than 30,000 people have been ordered to evacuate and around 4,000 firefighters have responded to the blaze. President Donald Trump recently got interviewed by Sean Hannity, his first interview since his return to the White House. Now, Sean Hannity says that the president provided more transparency in less than 48 hours compared to former President Joe Biden during his entire term. And it just so happens that California Governor Gavin Newsom was one of their topics. So here's the president talking about a previous conversation that they had.
Why is it that you don't want millions of gallons of water a day pouring throughout California? You know, the farmland in California is, they say, the equivalent of Iowa, great land, but it's got no water. And you sit there and it's literally, you can see it burning, it's on flame.
Sure.
All they need is water in that big farmland. And I ask them, why? How is it possible that you're not allowing this water? They divert it out to the Pacific Ocean where it drops into the ocean. And you know what it's like? It's like nothing. To the Pacific Ocean, it's like 2 glasses of water. It's nothing. Millions of gallons of water is diverted way up north in California into the Pacific Ocean. That water, you know, they have the pipes in it. It's half pipes. You see them all the time. Half pipes. People live in those half pipes now. You know, they have homeless living in those half pipes. But this is water that millions of gallons of water a week and a day in some cases, you know, depending on the flow. So much water they wouldn't know what to do with it. Your sprinklers would be filled. You have to clean the floors of the forest. You know, when they had forests, I go to see some of the sites. I watched in California. They use billions of dollars of money. And they do say, you know, and look at what happened. Los Angeles, that's like a nuclear weapon went off, what's happened to Los Angeles. And, you know, that thing went for 4 or 5 days. Nobody was even fighting it because they didn't have any water. Their fire departments aren't funded properly. And the firefighters were brave as hell. They were fighting without water. I mean, they turn on a fire hydrant. There's no water that comes out. And they're sitting, and the fires are rushing at them at 30, 40 miles an hour. Those firefighters were brave.
President Trump already talked about this during his first term, and I vividly remember Gavin Newsom standing close to him at the time. But I guess that the governor would rather just play political games than keep his own residents safe. It's kind of jacked up, isn't it? Because the idea is that he doesn't want to admit that Trump's right. So he's willing to focus on DEI policies and illegal immigrants. Isn't that stupid? This ends up leaving many people within the state to be at the mercy of these fires. Now, many Republicans, including House Speaker Mike Johnson, have thought about placing conditions on federal aid that's provided to the state of California. And it's obvious at this point that they've mismanaged their budget for so long now. This is why they're considering withholding federal aid.
I'm going to put a statement out today, I think, and maybe it's already written. I said, I don't think we should give California anything until they let water flow down into their state.
From the north to the south.
This is a political thing. I don't know what it is. You know, they talk about the Delta smelt. It's a little tiny fish like this. They say it's an endangered species. Well,
and more recently, the president signed an executive order to try and provide more aid to California. Not in terms of money, but more in terms with water.
President Trump is continuing to sign executive orders, including one which could see water from places like Shasta Dam head down to Los Angeles, along with the farmers in the Central Valley. Trump issued the order titled, quote, "Putting People Over Fish, Stopping Radical Environmentalism to Provide Water to Southern California." The order essentially directs federal officials to restart the work done from Trump's first term by rerouting water from the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta to other parts of the state. The federal federal Central Valley project, of which Shasta Dam is included.
And we should expect at this point that Gavin Newsom will go out on mainstream media with a burned down house behind him, talking about how Trump's actions will affect the Delta smelter or something to that effect, which could mean that the president is doing the right thing for the people. Now, moving on, guys, hundreds of illegal immigrants were arrested within the president's first day. It looks like ICE is back in business with the Trump administration finally releasing them from the shackles of the previous administration. More than 300 illegal aliens were swept up from different areas, picking up felons in and around Boston, Denver, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and Miami. Border Czar Tom Homan says that they're already at work and they're looking for the most serious public safety threats around the country. Here's what I can say about some of the people that they arrested. They don't like the president very much. In Boston, one Haitian gang member who had like 18 arrests in his record shouted as he was being taken away. He said, "F Trump, Biden forever." Now, if you got gang members who want you in as a president, then you probably weren't very effective in protecting the nation. I'm just saying. But remember, this is what sanctuary cities are fighting for. This is what's happening right now over in Chicago with Mayor Brandon Johnson. But of course, if you ask CNN, what Trump's doing now is going to cost a lot of money.
Also, let's not forget that a lot of what he's talking about on the border and on taxes, this is stuff that's going to cost money.
Yeah.
So we're actually talking about some of the more difficult parts of this because Republicans are getting ready to put an agenda that's going to be hugely expensive. It's a question of whether it will be paid for at all, and if it is, how, and if that's going to come with cuts. I mean, look, we're in for another couple of months of potentially some pretty big legislative fights, even within the Republican Party. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of appetite for huge fights over all of these people. I think even a Tulsi Gabbard, I could easily see some Republicans saying, this is a person who's serving inside the White House, let the president have who he wants. But on DOD, that might be something different. On DOJ, that might be something different. But they've got to dispense with this pretty quickly.
Takes like this one is the exact reason why I'm not surprised that CNN's laying people off right now. Because it's kind of like they have short-term memory loss. It wasn't that long ago when the Biden administration announced more money going over to the Ukraine. They spent $7.5 billion to build EV chargers and got less than like 50 of them made. They spent $42 billion on an internet program that didn't connect a single person to the internet. It's so stupid. Then you got CNN talking about how it's costly to keep the nation safe. Like, they're probably going to have to watch their words very soon since their own boss warned about prejudging President Trump. And now, hundreds of layoffs are expected within the network. There's also talks of moving shows to where they can make the production cheaper. So here's my question. Do you think that these liberal hosts will change their tune on the president? Now, I want to redirect you guys to another live stream that I did where I covered the inaugural ball. I urge you guys to check it out because the president revealed something that First Lady Melania Trump told him. It's a little bit shocking, so make sure you guys watch that right after this one. As always, appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.